public property pursuant to Wisconsin Stat 19.85. Paragraph 3, deliberating or negotiating of the purchase of public property and investing of public funds or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a
I only took a little sip, just to make sure it wasn't poison.
Tony?
Yes.
Yes.
And then they're gonna go back and do the third closed session. They're doing the third closed session.
Third closed session.
Yeah, so,
Personnel issue pursuant to Wisconsin Stat 19.85.1, paragraph F, preliminary consideration of specific personnel problems which, if discussed in the public, would likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person involved in such personal problems.
I guess I'm in.
Yes. Alex?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We're now in closed session. Yep.
Okay, I'll just, okay, alright. I took the
Recycling,
bill
fairgrounds, and
since-
trails act.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so for recycling, I participated in a webinar on proposed changes to the recycling code. Some of these changes, would be to have RUs, responsible unit, reevaluate their educational materials annually, change the due date of the annual report to be the same as when the grant submitted, define the adequate amount of dumpsters, possibly a 2:1 ratio of garbage to recycling, and then make haulers submit their totals. The good thing about it is it does not talk about, proposed funding changes, so that I guess got line item detailed or something. And then the next agenda item for recycling was the annual report. Typically, this is due by May 1st, so I never get to show it to you before I have to send it in. But they had technical difficulties, so it's not due until May 22nd or 23rd. In 2022, we collected 604.96 tons of recycling. That was an overall decrease of 19.6 tons. But if you think about it, there's not as many newspapers anymore. People are reading things online, so there's a variety of reasons why that would be. Our cost per ton is $135.58, which went up $4.25 per ton. And per person for recycling is $6.42, which is up 33 cents. And our population dropped 684. That was a shocker. Yeah, well, in our RU, so 22 municipalities. There's 5 municipalities that they're their own. But so they're saying our population is 12,780. So that was a shocker.
That's not like town of Dewey's not in it.
Right, and Weyerhaeuser's not, Grow, and then there's like 2 more.
Well, there's Dewey, Big Falls, and
Yep, Big Falls,
and
True.
Tony. Dewey, Big Falls, and Tony are not there.
There, yep. And then Grow and Weyerhaeuser, those are the 5, yep. But the per capita collection standard is 82.4, and we are at 94.67, so, which is good. So, that's the annual report, if you wanna see it, I can show you all 36 pages of it, but it's pretty boring. This is the summary of it, so.
Okay.
It's on the Z drive if you're interested. All right, can I go into Trails End then?
Yep.
Okay, all right, so, April 18th, the Board of Trustees met. Obviously, we knew that there was some storm damage, but there's still a lot of snow on the ground. So Cece just had a company come out and do a preliminary look, and that preliminary look was $4,550. So then we brought it to the Board of Trustees that night, and they said, yep, we need to do it, but we need quotes, so, or, 3 bids. So the very next day, CC, created an RFP, gave a deadline of April 27th to award it by May 1st with completion by May 19th as we open a week later. We had 3 proposed come in. So on April 28th, Gary and I called Tony and Jerry, talked to Alan, to be able to award, a person, but then no, we had to take it to property. May 3rd, took it to Justice Youth and Extension, and they forwarded it on to you. If you wanna see them, I can get it going. Otherwise, the 3 were those guys' tree service, $7,850. Tree ape service, $8,875.65. And then there was one who came in afterwards, for $6,900, but if you look here, he did not say anything of what he was going to do. He just attached the RFP, we did award those guys tree service. They're probably finishing up the work right now, but, it had to be rapid turnaround because the snow was still there, and camp's opening, and once camp opens, we are solidly booked, weekdays. I have pictures if you wanna see them, Justice Youth and Extension forwarded a request to take this out of contingency.
That was $78.50 for those guys.
78.50.
$7,850, yes,
That's to come out of contingency.
yes.
Isn't there some state money?
I checked with Tom Hall, he's not here, he said no, because we are considered a park.
Oh,
So we did explore that option right away, a couple months ago, and we were talking about it, but he said no.
okay.
Motion to take it out of contingency?
Yes, it's gotta be paid.
So then does this have to go to finance too? Should I put it on the finance agenda too?
Or it's the finance, right?
Is that your recommendation, Jamie?
Yeah. I'll get, I didn't put that agenda out yet, cause I was kinda waiting to see it.
Tony made the motion?
Yeah.
Al seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we're into the fairgrounds report.
Did you want me to talk about the stove?
Oh, what?
The stove?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Where that trails in.
Okay, so in June, thank you. In June of last year, when it was capital improvement time, we requested $5,000 for a stove. And, because, the stove that we had was extremely old, we can't get parts on it, it's not efficient or reliable. We had many complaints about it. Based off of customer use and camp needs, we requested a 10-burner dual oven. And we are a licensed rec ed camp, so we can't just get used, it has to be new and commercial, anyway, we had, I'm just gonna pull up, this is the initial quote. One of our trustees worked in a restaurant, and so we're like, you know what you're talking about, get us a stove, 10-burner, 2 oven. So he came up with this one, $2,654, but then we had to convert it to gas. Well, when we showed this to Justice Youth and Extension, they said, way too cheap, poorly reviewed, find something else and find something where somebody locally can service it. So, but then in the meantime, July 8th, property approved $5,000 to cover the stove. And so then, this is when they said it was too cheap. Okay, so then we got this estimate for 10-burner. We told Northwest Refrigeration, give us a comparable quote. So they did for $3,780.40. So we were still, say again?
That's installed.
Installed, but then we needed to do the gas conversion and all of that stuff. So we were still fine being under the $5,000. Well then, oh, this is just more about the stove. Well then, we got it installed on September 13th. well then, when it was installed, we realized it did not have electronic ignition. So you have 10 burners with open flames going continuously unless you turn them off and then have somebody light the pilot lights. So CC's like, this is not safe. We have a variety of people, private use, youth groups that are in and out of there, you know, used to putting stuff down, you know, it's not safe for our use. So we went to committees and told them all about that, and so Ben said, give me the winter, I will look for maybe a closeout model, because Justice Youth and Extension's like 5,000 your magic number, okay? And he just couldn't do it. Well, camp's opening in a couple weeks, so Ben has exhausted all of his resources. So he did find, this here, which is an Iron Range, what he would do is he would take the one that we currently have there. Now, he has not billed us at all for this, okay? So he would upgrade to, one that has electronic ignition burners, but that now is $8,283.80. So we already knew we had 5,000, you know.
What's that number?
$8,283.80. I do have a couple extra copies if anybody wants to see.
So,
Um,
that's taking the other one as so they wouldn't bill us for the other one.
correct. The only thing he would bill is, he's charging us his cost. So just what, you know, and if we decide not to do this, he would just bill us for the installation and the shipping and take the other one back, but then we're without a stove, so,
Because he still return it because we haven't used it.
right, it came September 13th, we only had one group after that, and they were catered, so we have not touched this stove, knowing that it was gonna be leaving, so it's still brand new.
I'm a little concerned that we didn't find out this was an electronic ignition until it was already installed. That is a concerning thing to me.
Yes, so, I will I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about this. We got this quote, unfortunately, and John Caleb, he was like, is this electronic ignition? Is this electronic ignition? And, we all thought it was. So, I don't know who to point fingers at, but I will throw myself under the bus. We were without anybody to really, help us along last summer, so. We knew we needed a stove, we got one, we thought it was great, and then it showed up and it wasn't, so I am very sorry, but, and there was something to do with a panel on the wall, so I'm thinking what I was talking about was something totally different, what the other person was talking about, and we were just not on the same page, so. So then, Cece asked Ben, should we just go back to electric? Would that be cheaper? No, that would be like 11,365. So everything has gone up, obviously. Everything is so hard to get. You know, they're 6 weeks out. The one that he gave us that quote on yesterday is in stock, so we could get it. So we could resolve this problem. Unfortunately, it's more money.
We'll have to, not much we can do today with it.
Right, well,
It's under your report, but it's not on the agenda, so we
Right.
can't make no action on it.
so, cause I called Tony yesterday to see if he could approve it, and he was not comfortable doing so, but
Well, I
what
want
do we do, cause we're gonna be
Kennedy to be aware of
open.
what the situation was. And
Not much we can do because it's not on the agenda.
no, I know, unless we approve, unless I approve going ahead and ordering it, and then take it up at the next meeting. I have a general feeling here, a consensus, if you wanna call it that.
And-
Everything over campfire.
This is the last appliance at camp that needs upgraded. This stove was like before Jim Moore, so it was really, really old.
You said this stove was 82, 83.
Yes,
But on this, of says upgrade electronic range for 7633.
Yep, and then you have to add in the 650 for the initial installation, up on top.
I see that.
Yep, so those two do equal that 8,000.
Who's doing the installation?
Northwest Wisconsin Refrigeration, so we would not have any issues with, should we need it serviced or warranty, anything like that. We purchased our other commercial equipment from there and have not had problems.
Right there.
But it's $3,283.80 over the 5,000 we had expected, so
Well, 5,000 was budgeted.
5,000 was budgeted, correct?
We're gonna look for an extra $3,200 for sure.
I'd have to come out of that contingency.
But where else is gonna come?
Or equipment fund,
Equipment
I don't know, but
We can decide that later. I just need to get a report.
You need a consensus, you need a vote, you need a consensus right now.
He wants to know what we,
I just want you
no, we really can't talk about it, so,
I don't think we can.
it's more of a report than
to.
a discussion item.
Alright, I'll take care of it.
I'm gonna take care of it. Yes, moving on to the fairground report.
okay,
First, we have, well, you give your report first, and then we'll.
okay, all right. T-ball Little League, they're requesting to move a donated building onto the fairgrounds. It's currently sitting at the industrial park. They will use it to store equipment, but, the city wanted something official from us saying it was okay before they went ahead and did it. Or gave it to us.
Is this gonna replace the building that's there?
No,
It's in addition to.
it'd be an additional one, yep.
Is this, who's gonna move it?
That's up to them, yeah. Between the Little League and the city, they will bring it there.
I believe the city was gonna drop it off at the fairgrounds, and I told Jody that I would, move it into place.
It's just one of them little buildings, right?
It's like 8x12.
Is there a good location to put it?
There's an old one out there right now that actually should be just torn down, it's junk. And then,
Well, it would replace the building that's there, basically.
if you guys would give approval to take that one down, and that, they really don't wanna use that one, it's in pretty rough shape, there's beehives all over the place in there.
Can't do that either.
And then it would be donated to the county at that point. It's not like we'd have other people's property on.
Oh, right, yes, no, it would be county property, yes, and I'd have to tell Jamie for insurance and all that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd just be worried you start getting something out there and then somebody's got whatever going on.
Yep, no, and we'd add it to the inventory, and then if we demolish that other one, take that one off the inventory.
Is there a motion to approve?
Yeah.
Yes, do you like the idea?
Yes,
Then, okay,
Phil seconded.
could we also have it in there that, being that it is somewhat on the agenda, to have the old one, tore down? Would that have to be separate?
No, we don't have to be separate.
Just replacing a building.
Just
Replacing it, so then you would take care of
We make the
moving the old one?
The motion would be to replace.
That's in the
We replaced the building that's there with the one
Yeah.
donated by the city.
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
Tear
Down
down
the old one. Tear down the old one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, next we have the JLO and OLS booth remodel.
Okay. The fair board had been approved, you guys.
You can sit down if you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm only here for 4 more minutes, so it's not about you,
I will
run out of here.
Here's last year.
You got 2 minutes to convince me.
Okay, so, we had an inspector come in and told us we had to redo the JLO food booth last year. So that was approved for us to remodel in order for food to be sold out of there. Going forward, that was all done through all the proper committees. Our fair board went down, started to pull stuff out and started on that project a week and a half ago or so. At that time, they went into the OLS building and found that they really are interested in using that building and feel that there's some very good usable equipment in there. And there's some projects that need to be redone floor, there's a crack and there's a few things, but, they wanted me to come to you to see if it's okay if we also make some upgrades to that building.
So
we
you wanna
could
do
use
that in addition?
Yes, we wanna do both. What I'm calling the JLO building, which is the one closest to like the senior center, it's gonna be scaled way back, because we won't be putting in any sort of,
Washable surface.
special sinks. You know, we do have to close in all of the wood, apparently that is something the state requires, so we have to put that on, but otherwise, we're not gonna be doing a whole lot in that building, putting the walk-in in, which you guys had already approved before, that's already donated. But, the main thing will be the other building, but we already have everything down there, so I don't have a price for you yet for what it would be. But it was approved to do this out of fairgrounds budget, so we're just hoping we can do the floors. We have a little bit of ceiling to do, I know there's a crack above one of the doors we have to fix. But right now, it looks like it will be less of a repair than what we were originally going to do in the first building.
What are you gonna use that building for, the JLO?
JLO is what we're hoping then to be able to have our alcohol all secure in and sell the alcohol out of there that's been approved. So that'll all be locked inside of there versus underneath the grandstand. And then we have a covered pavilion, cause we have like the Joe's Music kids that play under the pavilion and, stuff that happens, in that area, so.
Coming out of the fairgrounds budget.
That's what it was approved for, yes, before.
So you wanna do both come out of the fairgrounds budget?
Yes, and we would do the work, so the fair board will be doing it, we're not gonna be hiring this to be done. No contractors, maybe asking some assistance from Gary throughout the process if there's something that we would need, but otherwise we have people that are more than willing to do the concrete on the floor, like I said, there's just a big crack in the little.
So you're just asking to take the approved amount to be able to use on two buildings now, because it's gonna come under.
And there was no approved amount, it was just the remodel. When I researched in the minutes, there was no approved amount.
It was coming out of the budget, pretty much.
Both remodels would come out of the fairgrounds budget.
So I think there should probably be a dollar amount put on there just so we know.
I think, but that'd be best when you make a motion to an actual amount.
We can do that.
Go a little on the high side just to be safe.
Sure, we'll get it for you, we have the inspection report, so we know exactly what we have to do from is she the state inspector, am I speaking right, county inspector?
It was Kristen.
So we have to do what she says in order for us to sell out of there, so any sort of food. So we're not asking you to do anything outside of what she wants, we're not looking to do additional fancy stuff, just to make it.
But I mean, we gotta specify a dollar amount, though.
I think we should, but
Can I just get can I get the approval though for you to go ahead and get prices for you, and then I'll come back next month, cause we have some other projects we're gonna get done anyway, we're not gonna be able to start this until then. Would that be okay?
Yep, their motion to get numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made a motion?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Any more discussion on it?
Bring back pricing next month.
Thank you guys.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
No longer.
Yep, is there a bathroom state update?
It is in the process, he almost has a final one done, but he said, he said he'd recommend doing the project in 2024. 24. Because they're in proper time to get somebody there.
And what about a grandstand? Your update?
Grandstands quotes are all there yet, I think, the 19th, I think they're supposed to be back. That won't happen until the day after the fair. The start date. We have to remove all the bleachers, all the seating and everything, and the ramps for them, so they can work.
Okay. Next, I guess we have the multi-purpose building concrete bid award. John?
Yeah, so, I mean, everything's been approved, we had those two bids that came in through the RFP, from J&J and Glasgow Masonry Company. These of course were for half, but talking to both, they just said double the price, cause it's twice the size.
That'd be good.
And then it was, an additional, we figured out just under 3,600 for that extra inch of concrete that you guys.
I think we approved
Well, it was, there was just,
60,000.
yes, no, the price, everything's there. So Alesco would've, his came in then, when you double it and add the 3,600, is like 59.5, and J&J would've been I'm trying to do math.
62.
Well, 63.2. So, you guys we just didn't award anybody, that was it.
You need to award one of them. Do you have a preference? I mean, they're so close.
They're close, my recommendation would be Alesco.
That's the
He's
cheapest
been in a
one.
lot of, he's a little bit lower, he's been kinda chomping at the bit, he's been in contact with me, quite a bit, and
What was it, 59, it's gonna
it'd be 59.5, and this is 63.2.
Spelling of his last name.
Oleskow. He's out of Weyerhaeuser, these guys are out of Excellent. Cause Chad has asked, well, they awarded it, and I said, no, I gotta wait till today. And he's like, 'cause I'm ready to go whenever, J&J I haven't.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, approve, let's go.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, carried.
Thank you very much, guys.
Livestock Committee, East Barn.
So, I need to know, what do you guys do with these farm? My scale's in there, and I have to weigh my steers in there during the fair. Can we use it for that? I've heard it's gonna be closed off, you want it closed off?
I don't know what condition it is. Gary, what shape is that barn, the east barn? Is it usable for weighing cattle?
I guess I'm no engineer, I can't give a opinion on it, but, I would say, I will give an opinion. I would say that it's been used for years the way it has been, but sooner or later something's gonna happen.
It could have been,
I mean, we're talking 4 to 7 on Wednesday night.
how many? 4 to 7?
No, 4 o'clock to 7
Oh,
o'clock is
okay.
our weigh-in. So we're just running animals through there for that time. And then if you want me to put gates across it, I'll put gates across it. We won't use it after that. But I gotta know, cause if I have to move my scale, that's a whole other ballgame, cause it was underwater when I was out there
Oh,
back in April, which that's never happened before, so I was a little stunned. But if we at least can get through and just do weigh-in for the fair for those couple hours, and then if nothing after that.
that should be good enough.
See these things alone for now.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we obviously have to, the other thing is if we have to move it, we have to have another slab poured, we have to have it calibrated again. Versus it's all set to go, so if we just do it now, then we can maybe plan something after fair time and do our usual calibration in January when we do it at the initial weigh-in. So, if that's okay.
The water increase.
I don't know, I will call Valley Scale and inquire on that. I think the load cells are sealed. I'm almost 90% positive they are, but I will check with Valley Scale on that just to make sure that nothing affected them. Cause there was literally this much water, it was right up to the side of the scale on that slab, which I don't know, cause we put the clay in there, the water had nowhere else to go, and now that became the low point, and it all came in that back door. I'm not sure, it's never been full of water before, but I will check that, but if we can at least get by for fair time, that's my question for you guys.
Since it's just gonna run it the way it is.
And then my understanding is you want it blocked off for fair, correct?
I think sooner or later we're gonna have to block it off. Maybe not right this minute, I mean, if you think we can get by without it for now, but I think it needs to be addressed, because it's a kind of a safety concern, I guess.
There must be an issue there of some sort that.
Yeah, there's an
Well,
issue.
and the more it goes and settles, it's gonna be
Yeah.
harder to get that scale out, I'll be honest with you, it was very hard to get it in there. It's gonna be a little bit of a thought process to get it back out, so if we can just do it now, and then, yeah, obviously we
When are
got.
you gonna put the scale in?
I don't know, that would be a very good question. It works where it's at right now, it's just gonna say where it's at right now.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna have to move them before the fair.
No, that's what I'm asking you, if we can use it there for the fair.
Well, then, once you move it, then I would assume you could put it in that, multi-purpose building somewhere.
That's been talked about, yes, yeah,
It's gonna be all concrete by then.
it is. We only use it for the steers, so, I don't know. It's, yeah, we've talked about it. Just needs to be on a level piece of ground, so for when you know, when you set it and stuff. Obviously, the larger area, the better.
Alright, we will wait this for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
The Register of Deeds, ARPA fund bid approval.
Can we come up here?
Yeah.
Do you guys have, copies of theirs?
I,
So, we got 3 bids, so the first one is, with Fiddler and Rusk and Jay. And that's $44,815.
how do you spell that?
Fiddler, Fidlar.
Why?
44,815.11. And Fiddler is my, program coordinator that I use for all of my recording. And then E.O. Johnson. So their bid came in at 44,751. There's an additional expense of $9,275.20 that would have to be added onto that for Fiddler to import the images into my system.
So which one now, with the 9,000 going to?
That's the E.O. Johnson, the 44. So their total for E.O. Johnson would be $54,026.20.
54, right?
Yes, sir. And then the third one is Heartland Business Systems. And their total is $37,501.68.
So the reason is that why this one was cheap, there's different system or what?
I have no idea, other than they're simply just scanning the images, and they wouldn't be doing, like the cropping and enhancements that we would need done. So Fiddler would then have to do all of that stuff on top of, that.
No idea what that would cost to fit.
Fiddler's only $21,000 for them to do their thing.
Okay, so, what about that? Minimum 44,800
Yep.
up to 58,000.
So, I mean, we've decided, so I did call you last week to have them start. We've actually pushed them out for scanning because they ended up being behind at their other job, and they wouldn't get here till today, and then they wanted to scan over the weekend. We said absolutely not, cause you guys had said before, nobody in the building, so they're now gonna come in July to do the scanning. Fiddler is, and they're the only company that comes here and does the scanning. The other 2 companies take my books out of my office.
Send them out,
Yeah. And
that's not good.
no, E.O. Johnson's bid, it was $4,000 just in transportation for them to come back and forth from Wausau to get the books.
So you got, what is it, the first one you read?
Fiddler.
Fiddler?
Yep.
we'll have them do the whole job.
Yep.
Is there a motion to approve Fiddler?
Tony made it.
Tony, did you make the motion?
Yeah.
For a second? A second. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries.
Where's this money coming from now?
They're ARPA funds. Yep.
How did that do that?
No. That was, it was already approved in the
Yeah.
county board in January, I believe.
Okay.
Customer security window. That's on there.
So, in talking with Ashley, we'd like to install a security window in the office. For one, you know, my office has cash on hand all the time, you know, so we tried to,
But it's pretty much wide open counter space.
it is.
So how do you, what are you gonna do for a window?
We're gonna put a window in when you're in the hallway, when you're coming in, on the right-hand side.
Like the treasurer's office?
Yep.
The county's office?
Yep.
I would say, get with our facilities manager Gary and get a estimated price for us to approve, and, you know, we gotta know what it's gonna cost.
And then
Bring
we'll,
it back till next month.
was he in here? Yeah, so, you were gonna look at the hospital to see if there was a window out there that we could maybe refurbish?
Yeah, there's nothing of use for that, but, I met with Mary, was it a week ago or so, and I have some different ideas, I guess I just don't know what you want. I don't think the window in that hallway would be the best scenario, but, I guess I just wanna know where the funds are coming from. Mary said that, Ashley already told her it was coming out of the, maintenance budget, so I'm kind of curious on that.
Well, when we installed Connie's window, it came out of the courthouse budget,
Out of what?
out of the courthouse budget.
What I was gonna ask is, are you talking a regular full, like a regular security window like the sheriff's department's got? The trays, you can't get your hands, or are you talking more like what Connie's got?
Well, we would have to be able to pass papers
Well, I
underneath.
understand. She doesn't have that dip in it, she just got a flat, flat.
Yeah, and it could be flat.
And the glass comes down so far.
Yep.
That's not really what they call a true security window.
Well, I mean, it would prevent people from coming in the office.
Right, I understand.
There's a couple weeks ago, I had a lady come in with 2 kids, and she goes to the back room. I said, "Can I help you?" And she goes, "Nope, I know what I'm looking for, I'm researching my property." Well, she starts digging through books that don't relate to property. So I asked her again, "Do you know what you're doing? Can I assist you?" And she goes, "I know what I'm doing." And then she starts digging through my garbage cans. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "My family used to own 3/4 of the state of Wisconsin, so everything in your office has something to do with my family history, so I can look at anything that I want in your office." Like, I literally had to pull the garbage out of her hands and take the garbage cans back by my desk so she'd stop digging through my garbage. Like, what the heck?
Going back to the security window, let's get with Gary and get us numbers.
Okay.
And know what budget we're taking it from or what we're gonna do.
Okay.
How much it's gonna cost.
Okay.
Have it on next month's agenda. Is that fine with you guys?
Okay,
And they need to get what cost on it anyway.
sounds good.
Okay,
Land Conservation Development, rebar purchase from ISHA.
So we use, in line info, we use rebar when we set, when the regular set section borders. Use bucket and edge. We were in the process of ordering some for the gear, and lo and behold, it turns out that ISHA has a whole bunch of rebar that they had for a project that they are not doing, and they are willing to sell it to pretty significant savings.
How much of it though?
Well, there's enough of, we use both 7/8 rebar and 3/4 inch, and there's enough 7/8 rebar that would last us about 10 years. And there's enough 3/4 that would last us about 4 years. And overall, over that time period, that'll save us about $6,600. We would spend $4,300 now to get all that rebar. Over that same time period, if we order it year to year, like we have been doing it, we're gonna spend almost $11,000.
I got a question. Some of that be released to use on the multi-purpose building? Would you be willing to sell some of it?
3/4 pretty stout. That 3/4 rebar pretty stout for an floor.
Yeah, it's
Do
pretty,
they have other sizes too?
no, well, I can check.
I
I
thought
can
that
check
they
with
said
them.
they had like a variety of sizes, where there was only certain ones that they were
Right,
in.
that's
So
half inch.
you're looking for some like 1/2 inch for like concrete?
Yeah.
Johnny left, didn't he?
Yeah, I can find that out.
He's in the hallway.
Is he?
Yeah.
Johnny wasn't the one talking with him, so.
Yeah.
He'll know what size, yeah. What size rebar would be used for the concrete at the
1/2 inch.
1/2 inch?
Down here, yeah. Is that it?
I mean, this is the ones you gotta cut.
Yeah, and so the whole breakdown is, we would have to, and we've already talked to Highway, they would haul it for us, they'd go out, they'd haul it, it would cost them about $500 to haul it. And then, talking to Gary and Scott, they can use that, they can use the cutoff saws they have. In between, it's as in-between work, it's downtime, as light duty work, they can be cutting some up as they go, making the stockpile.
Where's that stuff at?
It's up on 40, they're up off of Highway 40. So the highway would go up, they'd haul it down, we'd store it out at the shop out there. They can cut it up as needed, as light duty work. And in the end, over that time period, it's gonna save us $6,600. Cause we'll be spending $4,300 up front versus $11,000 over the 10-year period. Probably actually saving more than that, because the price of steel is not gonna go down.
What budget was it?
Land info, grant.
Do you have enough for grant? Source grant fund?
We already approved.
Well, Land and Water already approved it.
Yeah, zoning,
Land info.
zoning, yeah, we approved it.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries. Next we have
Thanks, guys.
Health and Human Services, Fatal Vision Program purchase.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I'm over here. How's it going? Put in stuff like, here we go. Up on the screen, you'll see a couple things. I'll just give you a quick little snapshot and then run you through the request. In Rusk County, when somebody receives an OWI and they go through the court system, this is the statutory language that drives that. Part of that is an OWI surcharge of $435. That $435 goes to the clerk of court. 50.3% of that money, or $218.50, stays in the county. It's attached to the 5142 board, which drives what I do for a living, okay? They then say that with that money, you have to then use it for driver safety plan, treatment, or all things in and about your efforts for OWI prevention and those kinds of things within the county. We have a fund balance in my budget of $154,000, okay? We have used this money one time for treatment of a person that did not have insurance in my tenure in the last 7 years as the Human Services Director. So it does not happen very often, but this money is sitting there in that budget. Jamie is my witness, and it's really up for interpretation of what we can use it for. So Cheyenne in the back of the room and our Children and Family Services unit and myself have been banging our heads together to try to come up with ways to utilize this money from a primary prevention standpoint. So slide number 2, you can tell how old I am, I said slide. We have a request, a quote through the corporation Inacorp that does Fatal Vision. Fatal Vision offers a ton of products. If you go to their website, they offer just a lot of information, a lot of OWI related types of information. Specifically, this request will entail, and it's very costly, it's like 5 pages, and it comes down here to like $10,224.70. What this is it's pedal carts. It's a pedal cart, like if you go to one of the pumpkin patches or one of those event centers in the area, and the kids get on them and they adjust the seat and you can drive them. But what comes with this is vision goggles that is distracted driving, marijuana, and alcohol. And it's very specific to being or appearing to be under the influence of those substances. And as a result, we would use these at things like, my sheet here. We would use this with our events. Number one, the EDGE program that the Sheriff's Department does. The Sheriff's Department goes out into our 5th grade classrooms and talks about education and primary prevention related to alcohol and drugs and substances. And so we would use it along with their Rusk County Youth Council, the Powerhouse, National Night Out, all of the festivals that we participate in, and we can loan this product to them. We'll give an opportunity to work on primary prevention. So you're asking, Jeremy, what the heck is this really? I've got a video. I'll show you here if I can do it. I'm sure they're gonna try to sell you something here, but here's I'll try to sell you something first. Bear with me. So this is one portion of it. So that's the snapshot. Along with that comes a whole bunch of the other opportunities in there. It talks about simulating field sobriety testing with the goggles on, so it will simulate impairment. And as a result, we really think that this aligns with the rest of our primary prevention, earliest of intervention efforts that we're trying to do in the county with all of those entities and the things that we're attached to from a human services standpoint. $10,224.70 would come out of the OWI surcharge dollars, because that is an allowable cost. We're specifically talking about primary prevention around alcohol, marijuana, and distracted driving.
Are there other companies that sell this kind of stuff? Just because I'm thinking the dollar amount might be nice to get more quotes.
We can. We haven't. This has been a evidence-based practice, but we can find other quotes if you'd like us to take a look. Cheyenne has done the legwork on these quotes. But yeah, we could definitely seek out and see if there's, you prefer 3 of them? Okay. So yeah, we would.
Get 3 quotes and bring it back.
Super good. Very good.
Fatal Vision sounds deadly though.
It does. It catches your attention, I can tell you
We
that.
propose to take these, to schools and put on, we'll stay 1 day or 2 day thing at the school and have certain age groups go through it.
100%. We're finding that 3rd grade, 3rd, 4th grade, Escape the Vape is a curriculum that we purchased. When Cheyenne is out running hidden in plain sight, Escape the Vape, we're talking 3rd grade kids. My 9-year-old is in 3rd grade. They're talking about vaping. They're talking about alcohol and drugs. This is something that early intervention used to be like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. we're down in the, way in the elementary school talking about this. So we wanna be on the front end. That's why we're doing the request, is to empower what we're trying to do, and show there out in the community.
Is the child actually pedaling that car?
So there's a couple different options. They actually have motorized ones. We're not gonna do that, because we'd have all kinds of grief. But the pedal carts, they choose. I mean, it's at that pace. If you ever go to like Mumpson's Pumpkin Patch over there on SS and in Rice Lake, they have these where there's a little track and you drive them. They don't go very fast. My son beats me every time, okay? And it doesn't take much to get them going, but they don't go very fast. And so it's more designed to steer around the cones, to navigate, an obstacle course and those kinds of things. The other thing that we learned, hold on, Cheyenne. The other thing that we learned is that the Sheriff's Department, Bert Zilke, has been using a set of goggles. Cheyenne informed me that we have a set of goggles, meaning like a 5 different set of goggles that we can use in conjunction with all of this. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
So this quote also includes, it's not just the pedal carts, but there's also mats and other activities too, so you don't need to take it into a gym necessarily or a parking lot. Like those smaller activities could be taken into a classroom. You could bring them in here and do them. So there's 2 variations, one that is going to require the pedal carts, and the one is also a passenger one too, so then 2 people can be in that one. And so there would be discussion about not getting into a vehicle, someone that's driving as well, and how to have those conversations, how to talk with an adult in your life if you need a ride. So those conversations would happen, especially with that passenger one. You go through the course sober without the goggles first, and then you go through it to have a baseline. And then there are different activities with each, between the distracted driving, the alcohol, and then the marijuana. I've talked with one of the area driver's ed programs, and they would like to have this utilized, so then they could do that as part of the driver's ed program that they're doing, is to have that conversation, but also have that hands-on experience too of this is why you don't want to. We had a lot of discussion at the Health and Human Service Board yesterday about this, and a lot of the questions that you're asking too were brought up then.
You can see this quote is very specific, and we will try to match it up with 2 other things.
Yeah, try to get it as close as you can with them.
Yeah.
I have a question. So the goggles actually simulate for the user,
Screw your eyes.
if they had been drinking or if they had been smoking marijuana?
You just mess with your eyes, don't they?
Yeah.
How does that work exactly?
So this was the question that was asked yesterday. There was a very good conversation. One of the board members yesterday asked, how do you simulate 0.08 versus 0.22? And I'm emailing the company to ask them that question just to see the evidence behind that practice. I'm certain that they have some technology these days where they can measure that, but it affects everybody differently. If you're
Well, I think they just use different strength lenses.
correct.
And you got somebody's got glasses about that thick, and you put them on, man, you wonder where you are.
I'm sure it's somewhat of that same technology, science-based, where they can simulate what, being super intoxicated is versus just over the legal limit. So, but I think, something Cheyenne said yesterday that, really caught my attention is marijuana is the new alcohol. Alcohol is so widely accepted in Wisconsin and everywhere else, but here that it's not even really kind of a thing. But now marijuana is being talked about in that same breath, is that, well, it's just THC. Okay, well, THC now is cut with fentanyl and other drugs and those kinds of things. It's a super slippery slope. So again, bigger conversation, but this is really targeting prevention types of things that we want to be a part of.
But it sounds like what Cheyenne was saying, that if you use it for driver's training, that's gonna be in high school. So you can use it for the 3rd or 4th graders and then also in
Yep.
high school.
And then I also want you to be prepared that we'll probably come back with a quote, 3 quotes of some, maybe like a trailer of some style. Because if we need to transport this and we wanna be mobile, we wanna utilize the opportunity to be able to put it safely, store it safely, with all of the other ancillary things that come with it.
Is there a picture of the car itself?
Yeah. Would this be in conjunction, like you said, with the sheriff department programs?
Yes, we're gonna try to do it with everyone.
No, but I mean, you're working more or less with the sheriff department as far as, you know, going out with it, whatever?
Yeah, well, like the Edge program for sure, and then if there's any other opportunities that we can develop would be great. I think that's. I mean.
Want to get an idea how it works, put on somebody else's glasses once.
Yeah, where my guy goes.
I can bring down the sets next meeting and you guys can see
That's how
them.
strong it is.
Test it out on the board.
So those are the mats that,
Somebody else's glasses once.
will be
You can
used
see
with the
here,
glasses.
This would be like one of the opportunities that you'd have from just a mat standpoint. And then from a product standpoint, you can see that they have a ton of items. Pedal carts anywhere?
They're gonna be underneath packages, I think.
When they say our products, I thought that would be, so this is what they look like here. And so this quote talks about having one of the two-seaters and one of the single seaters.
Unless it were to come out of your money you've already gotten, $150-some thousand.
Yeah, I'm pretty frugal with our allocations, and we've been collecting this money and it's been sitting there for a long time, and so there's the interpretation of what their allowable cost is pretty vague, and so we don't spend the money where they specifically talk about treatment for folks that are under a driver's safety plan, because most folks have insurance or can get insurance, and so we've been collecting this money and it's been sitting there, but we're not just gonna spend it to spend it, we're trying to think of ways that we can impact our community.
Okay.
So we'll come back with some quotes, and I appreciate your time and effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, worthwhile. Moving on. Next we have Sheriff, BB's Crossing Safety Concern.
Alright, you're stuck with me. Sheriff's over at St. Croix County. Yeah. So, he has a traffic safety concern on Highway 8 coming, if you're heading west into Beaver's Crossing. As you're coming into the crossing, there's no visibility to the railroad crossing as you're coming into the curve. He has been talking to Tom Zelm, who's the property owner that owns the piece of property between Highway 8 and the railroad tracks.
Wow, that's on the south side.
That would be on the south side.
And they're talking about purchasing, I think.
Yes.
This came up somewhere else.
Yeah. It was at the end of the last meeting, the sheriff came in and gave you a packet.
That was it.
Yeah.
And he wanted to buy it, and he wouldn't sell it, he was willing to trade it.
Right.
From across the road.
Correct. The parcel that he would like in trade, there's a stipulation that when the county acquired it, that property cannot be divided. So that.
Cause he only wanted 5 acres of it.
Right. He doesn't want the whole 40, he only wants the 5 to replace the 5 that the 5 acre parcel that would need to be clear cut to make that visible.
So, what are you saying? We have to acquire the full 40?
Well.
You can't split it.
No, not that one. Have they seen this letter?
Yeah, that's what they got last time.
Okay. And everybody's seen the letter and has read the letter? I read it. Okay. You seen it there?
I read some part of it.
Okay.
So there's also something on that parcel with, sturgeon spawning. So I don't believe once Tom is his name, found out about that, he probably wouldn't be interested in the parcel anymore anyways. Cause the DNR has a lot of say, cause the river kinda cuts through it there.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is property on the west side. Or west side, south.
This would be on Thornapple Road to the south side, just before the bridge. Or just after the bridge.
Well, it's north of the.
It's north of.
Yes,
Maine.
north of 8.
You're talking about spawning, we're spawning, that's something people walk by.
Yeah, people walk back to the river and watch the sturgeon. Yeah, this would be the property in question there. As you're coming into the curb. Coming to West 98, the curb crossing.
This is where you want to curve cut.
Yes, this section here.
Right. And he wants to trade it for what here, out there.
No, we can't do that.
This property can't be separated.
Nope.
So,
How do you mean can't be shut?
there's a stipulation when the county acquired this property that it can't be divided.
Well, I understand, so you can't take 5 acres out of it.
Correct.
You can sell the whole parcel, the whole 40.
I don't know that.
The county would not do that.
That, I guess.
That's that, all that,
Which is where sturgeon spawning is.
yeah.
Right.
But,
There's quite a few stipulations
Yeah.
with that when we bought it.
Yep.
yeah, I don't have to aware of all that.
That's where they tore down the houses and made that disc golf and all that forestry stuff out there.
Okay, so,
Would there be any way that they could run, I'm just talking, a line from where the signals are on the railroad? Carry a line around that curve, so it's before the curve,
Oh, like a flashing light type
Yeah.
thing.
when the train goes
I
through?
mean, it's possible, you know.
Well, isn't Jeff's concern not so much the train, but like those trucks that have to stop?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Right, so
anything
then-
to do with the crossing that creates.
But would a signal fix that problem? If a truck had to stop? I don't think so.
but
So what his concern is it stop on the railroad tracks?
His concern is that if the train's crossing the tracks and say there's 4 or 5 cars backed up, that if traffic is westbound at highway speed,
Yeah.
they're not gonna have, it's gonna give them more time to slow down, so it doesn't cause, you know.
That's what I was wondering if a
Somebody-
signal out there farther could,
And
the
that
same thing.
is an option to explore, I don't know.
A regular railroad crossing signal, you know, the.
Crosswalks?
Huh?
You need a
Well,
crosswalk?
not a crosswalk,
No,
but
those are
a
at the-
light.
Right, some kind of, you know,
Well, it's like if you're coming on, heading east on Highway 8 in Minnesota, Taylor's Falls, you've got that blinking thing, it says the blinking, the light's gonna change. It'd be the same thing if there was a train or something.
sure.
Yeah, but you'd have to have quite a bit in advance of that.
Well, you'd have to
Right,
get
by
it-
the curve.
Well, you'd have to
And-
get it almost back to, like, step checks.
Step
or
checks,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, the greenhouse there. So,
So we're really moving forward on it, cause we ain't got nothing else.
well, right, I think, and again, I apologize for him not being here and me not being completely 100% in this loop, but, I think he just wants you to be aware that this is what he's trying to work on. You know, you may have to look at other options if this original option is not an option any longer.
That's what you're saying, it's not an option.
No, it's not an option.
Let their committee figure it out and bring it back to us.
Okay, refer back to traffic safety.
Yeah, I'm sure they talk about it at the sheriff's committee.
Alright.
No, they talk about this at the traffic one.
Traffic safety. So, again, that's what I got. Alright?
Yep.
Alright. Yep.
Building and grounds.
Your turn, Gary.
We go to Cheyenne.
You too, you too.
Right.
Where's it at?
She's under buildings and grounds.
Yeah, but what letter?
He's totally on the locks and boxes. I remember this.
Yeah, and so I've been talking with Phil quite a bit over the last month. You guys got the resources I sent out in that email. One of Phil's concerns was that the side effects that he had looked up, that was from naloxone. And so we had reached out to some people and they said most of those side effects are going to be coming down from an overdose. And that it would be someone with an underlying condition, and then, so I followed up with him 2 weeks ago, cause we've been in loop, with him. And he had asked a question of if there was any information about people that have been, Narcan that didn't need it, and if there was any side effects. So actually, on counting time, but I went home and I Narcaned myself and had someone observe me just in case there was, the only like side effect I would say was that I had like, after half an hour, I had really like bitter taste in my mouth from that coming down the nasal cavity, but other than that, like I was active outside for that time, I didn't have any side effects of that. I know that Phil had talked with, a drug court participant and they had said that, you know, there was a chance that they might have used it as a security blanket, but then, like we had reached out and, also another question that was brought up was, would this reverse, like, say if someone had been using and, like, they used the Narcan, would it, like, then not show up on a drug test like that original use, that they're still gonna show up positive if they're using, and Phil had said that, like, he had thought that after, like, all the information, that their impacts would be, it'd be more of a positive impact than a negative impact.
You had the money budgeted for it?
So this is not, we don't pay anything for this, it is free, it is through a grant program, so free to us, through a grant program through the university. They work with, the county to, like the thing that they're going to need is, and we're looking at the installation right out here in that, that lobby that's open 24/7, they would need access to, connect it to the internet through the county here. And what would happen was, if someone opens that box, it's going to notify, our point of contact is going to be Lisa. She's the one that's trained for, the Narcan Direct program. Jeremy is working on a policy for, presenting that, to the Health and Human Service Board for Narcan, so then Lisa, would be able to hand that out.
Motion to approve?
I'll make the motion, cause you said you talked with Phil and
Yeah.
allayed his concerns,
Yeah.
cause I remember that from last.
Is there a second? I'll second. More discussion on it? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have
I guess I don't have my agenda or anything.
Keep saving lives.
So you know what's on there. Sure.
The addendum,
But we're down on the first page of the poll.
yeah, well, hospital update, but I don't think there's much to really update on it. We have that later on the agenda, don't we?
It's just, I got the asbestos guys out there, they were out there last week, they should be there today and tomorrow.
How long they normally take a couple days, I thought
Well, they were there 4 days last week, and then I believe, and then should be there 2 days this week.
but then I'm sure it's gonna take a while to actually get the report.
I think he said like 300 samples they were doing, and then, once some samples come back, they have to, probably come back and do some site, specific samples in some areas.
So do they,
How long will it take before they get us a result?
I guess I don't know exactly, I think he said about, once he does the samples, I think he said around 1 to 2 weeks before he gets them back.
Oh.
And then he's gotta review them, and then he's gonna come back out and take some more.
There's probably more of it in the oldest part, I would think.
From what I gathered from him, he pretty much said everything in the whole part's got asbestos.
Did he, did they do the four-story thing, the old part,
They did that.
and the nursing home part?
They did that
all
one, they did the old one first, and then I think the other section is from maybe 1964, I think, and the other one's from,
The nursing home part,
yeah,
they do.
yeah. So we started with the oldest to the newest.
Okay. Well, let's get the approval of the bills on over.
I ain't seen it.
Approval AP report, payment and invoices. Yeah.
No.
Is there any discussion on it? Or do you wanna read it first, Tony? What's that? Wanna read it or?
All the bills?
Yeah. All in favor of paying the bills?
Who made a motion?
Al? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried.
Sherry gotta sign it, yeah.
Maybe an addendum, just finish off buildings and grounds.
Yeah, then we'll move in the.
So anyway, on this asbestos, are they gonna give us an estimate what they figure it's gonna cost, or what?
I thought it was 80-some thousand, wasn't it? For the study or whatever?
I think it was less than that, if I remember correctly, I think it was like, less than that, I think 13 or 14,000 or something.
But that's coming out of the.
Out of the wind down.
Wind down funds.
But then we have to find somebody to actually do it, don't we?
Does this company actually do it too?
They'll do it, yeah.
They'll do it.
Yep, they'll do it.
Do we do it like getting a bid from them?
No, we'll have to do that after we know how much we're in.
Yeah, I mean, I did request before to do a preliminary bid, which I've already come back with, I think it was like 148 to like 4 million.
Okay.
No,
The next one is in the building and grounds then. So first, yeah.
Okay.
Quotes for the interior,
I guess just the gateway building, the final outfitters, it's looking pretty rickety and peeling paint out there. I was just wondering if, you guys would want me to get some quotes to get that tuned up and looking decent.
I just have one comment on that. So the architect was here this week, and one of the possible jail, ideas is to shoot out down south here. So I don't know, like, if we should maybe hold off on that, putting money in the gateway.
Yeah, I think the state approved of that plan, wasn't it?
You mean to build
No,
a
I
jail
got the
across the
company
street?
again to do the
Yeah,
deal.
possibly.
I thought they could because no walkways and no tunnel.
Right. It's just a possibility. I'm just saying, you know, I don't know if we wanna put
For a
money
little
in.
while. Hearing this consensus?
Yeah.
And hold off on it. And next, we have approval of purchase of respirator fit test, respirator for maintenance crew, potential unsafe working environment.
Put them together, Gary.
Yep. I guess I'm asking for that because, last week, we had an incident, actually it was me, I had an ambulance right to the hospital on Thursday due to the gates building. We had the fumes and the exhaust and everything. So I had sent an email out, Monday, I don't want any of our maintenance guys going in that building unless they get fit tested or have an excavator anymore.
Meanwhile, are vehicles running or?
Just in general, the whole building is, that middle section is unsafe.
What is the source of that?
The fiberglass and the exhaust fumes from the equipment and the vehicles.
Not coming from that business in the back, is it?
Most of it is.
Oh, it is.
So they're not property, definitely.
I would say no.
Have you talked to Town Hall about what kind of equipment you have available for you guys to use?
I got, so I was looking at the pricing, and actually, Annette, the medical examiner, had some full face respirators that she don't use, so I have them. So that's gonna save that'll save you $2,000 right there. Some full face respirators are $200 PCC.
And Tom Hall can do the fitting.
So that should,
Yeah, and public health can do the testing.
Yeah.
so that should work, and then Tom Hall actually does the testing.
Okay, I've got a question, how the workers in that company getting by?
Yeah, they're supplied hoods.
Okay, next we have vehicles we sold.
That's, me, so there's 6 vehicles that were on there that were from the past. I guess I just wanna give you guys a reason why I haven't sold them, it's just because I haven't had the time to do it, and it was winter time. Well, more than half of them don't even run, they're junk, they can't even run, so if I go with Wisconsin surplus, which you guys approved, I mean, I have to do all kinds of extra work, take pictures, and then get them to them. This other company, Western Wisconsin Auto Group, I called her up the other day, and she's like, oh yeah, we'll just come pick them up and be done, you don't have to do nothing. Just give me the title, it's done.
You going to auction then, or what?
Yep, and probably three or four of them, you're gonna get scrap price, they don't even run. And then, I talked to Forestry, there's a truck on Forestry, Jared is unaware of it, he's like, I need that truck, he's like, I can't get rid of it, unless you give me a new one, or a different one.
And that may be changed when we canceled the forestry truck that was ordered.
Yeah.
But, you should talk to Scott, highway's got a bunch of equipment going on, so let's.
They're more willing to do it, I guess, I just know the Western Wisconsin, Phil Grassman uses it. And, I called the lady up and she said, yeah, you call me tomorrow, I'll come pick it up next day. Done. Give them the title, what you need.
See it done?
They're not worth much.
And there's another one that's not, well, the green truck we have, I would like to put that on it too, cause I mean, it stinks like Gates. It's been sitting in Gates for years. We started using it when I got hired. It's been out of there for about 3-4 months. You go in there, you puke.
But, what, they auction them off then?
Yep.
And you get and how do we get the funds?
They give you whatever they get for it, they give you.
What do they charge for?
And then, I guess I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but, she said.
Probably 10%.
They'll take the decals off, they got the decals off.
Okay.
I wanna say it was like, I think she said it was like 30, depending on the size of the decal, but she said it was like $35. But there's, I'm gonna say, there's at least 3 cars that don't even run, and there's another car that's sitting at Gates, they don't even run, I don't even know if I have a key for it, we had to drag it out of Gates.
I think those ones are senior service
I
vehicles.
think so.
And you know which ones these are talking about.
Well, yeah, we approved the listing in October, you guys did.
But they're on your statement. So
Some of them are
Six
senior
are.
services, so not all of them are on the fleet list, so not all of the proceeds would go back to the fleet, the ones that are senior services would go to the senior services trust.
The other two, is, I think it's a white and pallet sitting right in front of Gates, but that one was not approved on their list. I guess I'd like to get that one approved, because it's just been sitting there, and then, our green pickup that we have over here.
So how many total is it?
It would be 8 if you include.
There'd be 8?
Yep.
Is it,
Except for, well, we'd be removing that
or
forestry
some
truck.
of them gotta be just worth scrap.
Yep. Yeah, to be honest with you, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose money on a couple of them to put them on the auction.
How do we?
Why don't you just call, the ones you think you're gonna lose money on, why don't we,
Just scrap them.
why don't we scrap them?
That's what I'm saying. If you put them on the auction, you're gonna end up losing money.
So, you know, a price quote from that right at the top,
Mm-hmm.
the Martin.
Yep.
See what they're
two of them, right? Or is there three?
Well, the one at Gates doesn't run, which ones are, I don't have my paperwork here with me, but which six of them were?
I don't have it on either.
There's this, fleet car, not the fleet car, but, the senior center car, I think, is out here. I mean, that one runs, but, it's in pretty rough shape. The one at the airport, I just had to replace the battery, put the battery in it, but that one petered out. The battery was $180.
Worth more than that.
Yeah, take the battery out, you're jumping it. And you wouldn't get over that, I don't think, for the price of car.
Yeah, but the bad thing is, see that Western Wisconsin auto group will come out, but they'll come out and then they'll drive it back to their shop. But if it doesn't run, they gotta put it in a trailer, and all that, so they're gonna charge you. And same with Western Wisconsin auto group, I think, that's what happens too.
If they don't run, you might as well scrap it.
Then there's the two cars that are in the back of the highway shop there, I don't know, I don't think they run, from what I was told, they don't run, I think Nathan might have the keys for them. I think. Well, I talked to Eric Peterson the other day, and he asked me if I was gonna get him on there, and I said, I planned on it.
The car's all over.
That's where they put the stuff on behind the highway shop. That's why if they're doing it,
Oh, let me see, they are electric cars.
some of that stuff what it sells on the surplus store for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy what some of that stuff goes for.
I'm more than happy or willing to have them do it, I mean,
I can ask Scott on Monday, we have a meeting. Just prolong it.
I can make a call today and next week it'll be done.
Well, it must get rid of them, I mean, keep them around.
You wanna make a motion?
Yeah, might as well.
Wants to second it? Always a motion. We'll just call that auto group to get rid of them.
The ones that, you know, that they can sell, I guess, but the other ones. we
Will
go
this
for-
include the green maintenance truck and the white car by Gates, right?
I guess I would like it to.
And should we put in there removing the forestry truck?
Forestry truck and,
Like not, I mean, removing it from the sale list,
Keep it.
keeping the forestry truck.
But if it's only junk, you might as well call Rocky Top. Or whoever else there is.
Well, either that or take Mark Cruz.
They'd have to come get it.
Huh?
They'd have to come get it.
Yeah, well, he would. I don't know if Rocky Top would, but
Yeah, you can.
take Mark, either one.
Okay, there's a motion and Tony, you second?
Yep.
Any more discussion on it? All in favor, say aye. Okay, next we have snow plowing contractor, Rusk degree, the lake pole, miscellaneous cleanup.
So we've been in the process of cleaning all this up, for the fairgrounds, basically every building they plow, Russ Thompson has plowed, we're in the process of cleaning all that up, I mean, it's from ash to bottles, to garbage, to metals, all that, you know, at the fairgrounds, we probably cleaned up, I would say 3 yards of debris, probably, in that, obviously you gotta rake out all the lawn and everything, the ball field, Jody told me that the ball field got kinda shot, cause they pushed it all back with a dozer and everything, and then,
do you want me to show the pictures?
I did send a bunch of pictures.
Do you want me to show them?
I guess. And then,
Not much we can do, but
Yeah.
we're done with, so.
yeah, so we're cleaning it up, so the fairground's all cleaned up already, we did.
If you got a sweeper that you use for raking the rocks and stuff already,
Yep,
and then you got a Harley rig too for the.
yeah, but the Harley rig wouldn't work for that application, but we got it all cleaned up at the fairgrounds. Actually, yesterday, they just got, Enterprise all cleaned up, and, they're pretty much done with animal shelter right now. And then, just the roots, all the roots and everything, it's just extra work for the guys, which, I mean,
Then roots, still, you think you could roll them out with a bigger vibrator roller?
we kind of scavenged some more dirt and just kind of put them in, and leveled it off. But, there's a light pole that, get back into an enterprise and busted it off, that's still sitting out there. Dave told me he was gonna repair it, take care of it, but, you know, they did, one of their plow guys backed into a sheriff's car this winter too and busted the tail light out and stuff. I think that was all taken care of already. Yeah.
Alright. Next, moving on to the airport.
Which one do you want me to start on?
Well, I guess from the meeting.
Well,
Oh,
back to the other one, back to the main.
Nine or number
Nine.
Yeah, start on line. What? Number 9.
Entitlement transfer, I guess that's, you guys signed that last time. I gave it to, Mark from the, VOA. That was for $150,000 that, I guess we were unaware of and couldn't spend, so I'm in the process of trying to get that money back, but, yeah, $150,000 more. The airport easement, I talked to you about that last month there. I gotta get with them, actually, on that, at that meeting next week, talk about some of that. Same with the 5-year plan there for the CIP. We'll talk about that next week. Airport loader, I talked to you guys about that already, last meeting. Airport runway improvements, I'm gonna talk about that in the meeting next week, but, that goes hand in hand with runway light repairs. I've had the electrician fix 21 lights already, they're very spendy lights. I don't know the exact cost for that, I would say it's around, could be around $2,500.
All new LED ones are.
The ones that have been put in, you know. That, upcoming meeting that I got, that should be a good thing for the airport, we get on a plan, and we can kind of try to do the right thing, I guess. I think in the past, I think it just never amounted to anything in that, and then I'm gonna try to recoup the $150,000 that we lost, and that, there's a possibility we can.
Why was that lost? Did they fill out paperwork or?
No, it's only good for 4 years, so if you don't use it in 4 years, the state loses it. So basically, they wanted to transfer, so they give it to another airport.
In other words, if you don't wanna lose it, you have to use it for 4 years.
Correct, and that was from 2019.
But, what if you don't have something to use it on? Can't you use it for, it's gonna fall into your, plan, though, don't it?
There's only a certain amount of things you can use it for, and, like, I said, well, I can spend $150,000 tomorrow if you wanted me to, and they're like, well, they actually gotta go through and get quotes and everything, they're like, you don't have enough time to do that.
It's like your 5-year plan, kind of, but it's up to 4.
Yeah, and then he said, he basically said, whoever your airport, manager and financial advisors are, should know about it.
The runway lights are working on, right? You just don't know how much it is yet.
Yep, they're working on it, I told him to proceed because I think he had, from the past meeting before I was here, I think he already had approval to get them, and he had to, a lot of them were on back order.
But there's enough money in the airport budget, I think, for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fuel master upgrade, so we got the phone repairs done, and then we were gonna install the one, but I talked to, Penelope actually from Fuel Master. O'Day is the one that installs them. O'Day has been pretty hard to work with, to be honest with you. So I talked to Penelope and she said, well, why are they installing this, system that's not even the latest and greatest? So she actually got the latest and greatest one, for us. I think it's gonna be I don't have the exact price yet, but it's gonna be probably, I'd say 5,000, at least 5,000 more than what, you guys approved in the past. And that, but I think that would be probably the beneficial way to go, because you can run that system off a cell phone. And that, so I know Jamie goes out there to do the report or whatever, I mean, she could have it right on her cell phone, she wouldn't even leave her office. You know,
We have been going out there and changing out the car too, the courtesy car.
We have hangar number 5 vacant, May 31st.
The guy there, he wants out, and he kinda stated the BOA and FFA rules or whatever. And I think if I remember right, he sent a check, and I think Jamie's got it, I think, Charlie gave it to Jamie, I think.
I did not get a check.
He's not happy with the rules on it.
I guess he just doesn't wanna be there anymore.
Who's this from?
It was Greg Swoop. The Char gave me the envelope and the letter, but she, there was a post-it note that she gave it to you, the check to you.
So do we have anybody else we need to go in there?
I asked Bill Undershoots,
No, I did not get a check from him.
I'll have to look at it, no, but, pretty sure that's what, I'm pretty sure that's what the note said, 'cause I don't have the check. But, yeah, I talked to Bill Undershoots about, the hangars, and he was actually considering moving to that hangar, because it's heated.
Bill, how much more is the heated one compared to that?
$25, I think, roughly. But you gotta pay for the heat.
Oh. I was gonna say, $25 more a month for heat. We're just required to do the maintenance on it, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Question, I guess, before we get any further, there's a drug management meeting, or drug management building, the enterprise, but, I gotta meet with Cheryl on Monday, but, do we, have to provide all the, paper towel and everything to that building? Because she said she's been supplying it now, but everybody else has been using it and stuff.
Yeah, I
so.
think that we do, because it's all a shared space, they don't have like, the break room, the bathroom is all shared space for everybody that rents that building.
Which building?
Enterprise
The
Center.
bus company building over there.
Yeah, which that would be more of a joint management question, but I think we are obligated to provide that.
I'm fine with it, I just wanted to know for sure.
Oh, the IT. Yeah, number 11, I'm moving to IT.
So I had
They're on both pages.
okay, so the IT, ARPA funds did approval, so we got two projects, the security camera system and, the main server system, that we had put out. This is an ongoing process, I think we're over a year now, I think we had called, Tony and Al and Connie was with, in there to get approval on some of that stuff. I was under the assumption that we were just to go ahead and get this taken care of and done, because we went through, got the proper amount of quotes and everything. We kind of picked a contractor for the security cameras, because the contractor said that another company was gonna fill the spot, this vacant spot. And, so we had called, Connie had called Tony and Al to come in, so we could keep that spot, otherwise we probably won't get it done this year. So now we should be able to get both of these projects timeline should start around June hopefully, and they should be done hopefully this year.
But you need approval of, do you know who's doing that? I can do that once if you want me to. I think you need a motion for approval.
I think it's, well, it's X access security for the security cameras, and it's Heartland Business for the bigger project.
It's Harlan for the, project, it's the $200,000.
Right, so we're gonna need to read all of the bids that were received, and then they need to pick the vendor.
Do we need a motion to approve that?
Well,
All we have left is.
Yeah, let me. Cause we already signed, we already signed it, right?
Yeah, you already have two bids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did he send them to you?
That's on the right now. I seen them.
Hey, guys. Yeah, are you around? Can you break down the bids or whatever for all the IT stuff? Network and property here.
Or you can send them to
Can
me,
you just send them, would you be able to send them to Connie?
and then I can,
Or did you send them to her before?
no, I don't have them.
I have some, I think, in my office, but I don't have the whole thing. That's, unless you want it done in 2024.
Leave it up in this thing.
We'll come back to that.
Sure.
I keep finding.
Oh, project tickets, so project tickets, we've been doing that, I've been monitoring that and, making sure guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's a lot of tickets, so we got a new guy now too, he's helping out tremendously, but, there's just a lot of tickets and some of the tickets, some of the tickets only take 15 minutes, some of the tickets take 6 hours or longer. And I mean, it's not, it's a process, I guess. I'm trying to get on, about, having more information to the person that puts the ticket in there. But pretty much anytime they do any work on a ticket, the person that, requested the ticket is.
Next we have the duress system update.
So I was fixing the duress system because in the court reporter's office, that did not work, so I had access security come out here and, look at that and fix that, and we had to go into dispatch and looking at the boxes and everything, and they're like old, they're like ancient, and, the access security guy says, are you serious, this what you got? And that, so I talked to Bugs, and Bugs had said that previously in the past, that, he thought the property committee had, approved an upgrade to that, so I would just, put it out there to, either, to update or reapprove, to get that,
Get quotes on?
get quotes on it, or I don't know if it was a dollar amount or something in the past, but obviously if it was a few years ago, I'm sure prices went up dramatically.
So the duress system, what the speaker system there?
No, it's, like in the courtroom, or the court reporter has got a button, and then I think the bailiff's got a button, so they basically get a button.
Well, if somebody gets out of hand.
Yep, it goes right to dispatch.
I guess what we can do is keep some, bring it back to numbers.
Okay.
one thing we did, I know we're gonna have a report Monday on it, for the GPS units for highway. Did you check in to see how much the insurance would go down if we do go that route?
I did ask them if they have any sort of program with that, and they said no.
We get better process cost,
Right.
no benefit outside of
Yeah,
it.
no, outside the benefit, but.
Yeah, I did reach out to the insurance company to see if they had some sort of program for that, if they did.
But, did we wanna do county car fleet too?
Do all. Well, I mean,
But if there's no benefit to it, we need to do the fleet.
There's no benefit insurance wise, I feel like there would be other benefits, but
Yeah.
that's up to you guys.
So we want it on next month's agenda? Oh, well, no, I'll move it last time.
No.
We have a report for highway on Monday, but. We want it on next month's agenda, cause we'll have
What exactly is that you're referring to?
GPS and a camera facing forward on every car.
So all county cars?
If we wanna put it on the fleet, our fleet vehicles.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have it on next month's agenda, and we should have a better number.
And,
They did say that, how many you get the same rate for it.
And that's
The more
stuff-
you have,
That's
then
stuff that goes sort of out.
I don't know, I'll get a report Monday on it.
it's still much to do, isn't it?
So much of it, he didn't give me the numbers, but I know it's on our agenda for Monday's meeting. I guess next then we'll move into administrative coordinator update.
Okay, so, I'd like your thoughts on hiring someone from the outside to oversee the decommission of the old hospital. It's gonna be a huge undertaking, and our maintenance department is already very busy. I talked with Rich about this. We would need to create an LTE job description and then send that through personnel and the board, and then we could post, for that. This person cannot be a contractor. They don't fit the requirements. So they would have to become a temporary county employee. You guys have any thoughts on that, outsourcing the tear down of the hospital?
What about as a contractor?
What's that?
What about you hire somebody like a contractor?
We could look at that. We'd have to make sure that they had all the proper insurance and
Yeah.
work comp coverage and all of that.
And it might be easier than trying to go through all these other.
They could also be more expensive though.
Possibly.
But we need to do something sooner, and I kinda talked to Ashley with it, and we had somebody, an interested party in it. For hiring, basically, somebody manage it out, cause then we can use the line down funds, we're not taking, use the line fund balance to pay for that.
It's just part-time.
Yeah,
So it's like a contractor.
basically, yes.
So you got, hire some individual like there's a contractor to do that.
But it's the insurance loops that you gotta jump through and everything.
Right, because we would dictate the work that we wanted done, we would tell them if we were satisfied or not, so they would be an employee.
Right.
Yeah.
Not independent.
Exactly.
And what would the project cost?
That's for you guys to decide, what
Depends
kind
how
of
long this process takes.
rate you'd like to offer.
Is that a dollar figure or you're an hourly?
Hourly rate is, I would figure like 25.
How much?
25.
Do you think we could get someone for that?
I do believe we can get somebody there.
But
Yeah.
$20 an hour, you don't really have a feel of how many hours you're gonna hire.
No, but we can kind of stipulate you only allow so many hours a week. I mean, that's up to us to decide on that. But,
Cause they'd be employed.
right,
There were times that you wouldn't be needed at all.
Right.
right, it's a kind of a part-time
What's that?
gig,
On need.
but we can use the wind down fund for it, instead of using our
Yeah.
county funds to pay our maintenance guys out there, we can't use wind down funds to pay them to be able to pay their commission.
So you don't have anybody in mind or you do have?
Well, we have to advertise.
We'd have to, advertise it like any other job.
But we still want somebody that
they gotta qualify.
Got some noddles,
But
noddles.
then, we gotta see who applies, then we go through the applicants.
Yeah.
Right, just like we do anything else, we pick through that. But we gotta get approval to make the job description for a part-time employee, and then. I don't think that has to go,
Yeah, cause it would be creating a new position, yep,
temporary.
through personnel and then to county board.
The sooner we get working.
So you driving up the job description?
Yep, I'll do that.
I'll make a motion to do it.
I'll second.
Any more discussion on it? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries. A repurpose old hospital that unit for jail.
Do you wanna talk about this a little bit? So there was like a dorm or something that was really hot and the sheriff received a complaint.
So upstairs in the jail, there's a whole conference room or whatever, that the jail converted into prison, we got inmates in there. And there's no heat or no cooling in there at all, so, there should be a unit out there at the hospital that's dual heat and a mini split. And then we should be able to, rig something up in the stair tower, so that, that room has heat in there.
Can you do that, or hire somebody to do it? Can you do it?
Well, we could do it, otherwise we could hire somebody to do it, but.
Walk it up.
Yeah. I mean,
Do we know what, the problem is, we really don't know what we're doing. We know we want to tear the hospital down, but do we actually wanna start going out there and tearing stuff part of the way?
Well, it would just be one unit,
Okay.
and it's ours,
and
so
I'll
we just.
define a heat and cool unit, a lot of them out there are just cooling, but, Rob did say he thought there was a couple of heat and cool something.
So what do they work?
I would say one of the units, probably, I don't know exactly, but I'd say at least $4,000.
You gotta use for somewhere else, you got one now, so we might as well use it.
You wanna make a motion?
I will.
Is there a second? Nobody want a second?
You can.
Alright, I'll second. Any more discussion on it? Yeah, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. Impact segment walkthrough of old hospital.
Okay, so Carol Keen, she was the woman who was here at the last county board meeting and presented their, response to our proposal. She has contacted me and asked if they can have permission to walk a contractor through the old hospital. She said they are still interested in pursuing housing out there. What's that? Right, so the board did vote to move forward with demolition, but she is asking if they can walk a
Never
contractor.
you wanna reconsider.
I'm guessing that's probably coming, yes.
But she, Willingham's letter, I guess, that's what he wants. Bring it back to the regular month meeting.
Who wants?
Willingham. That letter, there you go.
I don't know, we kinda voted it down already,
That's what I'm saying.
to allow them to go in now, I mean,
And if you let them in there,
Just wanna give a false hope.
we already voted it down.
you see,
What was that vote? It wasn't 10-9, it was more.
No, it was
Well, it was,
11-8.
it was 10-9, cause
It
Jonathan.
should have been 11.
Yeah.
11-8. He made a vote, just he voted the right way.
They haven't given up yet.
I don't think we should allow it.
the city hasn't either. That's what I'm afraid of. You got impact 70, or now you have to see it all. And the first thing you know, they're gonna want county call Medford.
So what's,
And then, if you go down the line a little farther, when things don't move along like they should, which they never do, there's always delays and whatever, and you pass that 2-year mark now, where it'll be 4 hours.
what is your projected, you did some of the project beforehand, you like, seen these big tear downs like that, it's not not an easy one-year project.
I would say like, you're gonna have to decommission the building and it's not, you can't just flip a switch and demolish it.
It disappears.
It takes time, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
And the vote was to tear down, and that's, it passed, so I would say no walkthrough.
Okay, what,
Make a motion on that? No,
to deny it?
whatever you choose. However you're.
I'll make a motion to deny it.
Is there a second? Alan, second, any more discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. No walkthrough.
Okay, no button. I could've hit it.
Authorizing facility manager to allow access to the hospital and report back monthly.
So that was kind of tied to the previous thing.
Yeah, cause whatever we do with the consultant will be reported to either Ashley or you anyways on it.
Right, so,
For now, I mean, yeah, you know, facilities manager would be the one
Go-to
allowing
guy?
the access, but it's only,
Yeah.
employees.
okay, do you,
Be the go-to for now.
can you put that in a motion, giving Gary ability to allow,
Yeah.
if you want, to allow access to the facility?
Somebody.
Cause right now, whenever someone reaches out to me or Gary, we have to come to you guys. Or you can keep it that way if you want.
Well, he has to let the, like that, he's gotta let the asbestos people in, and then if we find somebody to tear it down, they're gonna wanna look at it. So I would make a motion to allow the facilities manager to allow, so.
I already made a motion.
Yeah, you was gonna say.
I'll second it. Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All the doors are secure now, right?
Yes, there's a back door that they should go chain up, but, it's, you can get into it, but then you can't get into the other doors.
Okay.
Not
But I
because-
seen on the paper that it was reported, somebody was in, it's on the second floor of, clinic, and there is a second floor of the clinic, and they had a dog in there. That was reported, you seen that too?
One other question I had since we're in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
What did we ever do with like the chapel, that stuff in there, did we get an agreement?
Oh, you wanna move down to W?
Oh,
Okay.
on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Marshfield Clinic owns the altar, the crucifix, the kneelers, and the little water dipping thing in the hospital. I'm sorry, I don't know the technical
chapel.
name. In the chapel, yes. So they chose to gift all of those things to the Diocese of Superior because they do own those are Marshfield's, not ours. However, the diocese was not able to remove those relics before the end of the lease. So Marshfield is just asking, can they keep their items in our building until they're able to remove
You mean
them?
those specific items?
Those specific items, the relics in the chapel only.
In the chapel.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why there should be a rush to take them out.
Yeah, and then the altar is so gigantic, Jerry, that we think that the wall will probably have to come down in order for it to come out anyways.
Well, that stuff's out of there.
But I don't think you wanna
Chapel and stuff out there?
carry the altar out, or you're open that up, so.
Well, that's optional.
Yeah,
I believe, but there's some other stuff that needs to be.
yeah,
They get that.
the next thing is the mattress on the inside of the building.
Cause last time I was there, they had the altar on cart.
Oh.
The altar.
Altar was on the
But
carpet.
you wanna make a move, whatever, that if it was too big where they had their wall, you make the motion to, let them keep it in there till it goes.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion on it? Okay, all those in favor say aye. All those carries. Go back to Jim's heating. Not that are you. Okay.
So you actually gave Gary an authorization to let access to, so.
Only employees.
Employees are contractors.
Oh, okay, but now is Impact 7 considered a contract?
No.
No.
Okay, fine.
could be like, you know, the asbestos people or somebody tearing the building down or.
No electrician come in or whatever, I mean,
There's
you know,
a,
it's, you need somebody in there.
there's a compressed air guy coming to move the compressed air, move it out of there.
Because if we let a contractor, they have their own insurance, if you know what I mean, and the county insurance covers our employees, it's our building, you just can't let just anybody in there, now you're jumping into an insurance.
Jump the liability.
You took liability of the people being in there. Okay, Jim's Heating,
Okay, so this is an update from, this is a property we took back on tax deed, gas contaminated, there are 10 monitoring wells, connected to the site. The DNR originally told us all we had to do was abandon the wells, so you guys approved a bid with, REI. The DNR has since come back and is now wanting us to do groundwater sampling. And I was hoping to have the updated, bid from them today, but I don't. But I just wanted to let you know, it is gonna end up costing more money because the DNR will not let us close the site without a round of groundwater sampling. So,
Put on next.
this will be on next month's agenda, yes.
okay. Next, we have a scheduling a walkthrough.
Great, so since you're all here, I think it would be good for property to walk through the old hospital, just see what we've got going on there, see what's left in there. So do you guys have a date that would work for you?
Bring him a four-wheeler.
How soon can you get a hold of the wheelchair?
Oh, we can get one too.
Yeah, that won't be a problem at all.
Give him a four-wheeler.
Little rascal or something.
Holes are wide enough.
Give him one of those, yeah.
Can't let a little kitty one.
And then I'll go back.
Like, do you wanna do it yet here in May, or do you wanna wait until we post for the,
There's nothing really gonna be happening with it for a month or two.
Yeah, I would say after tomorrow, they should have enough, they won't be coming back and do some more samples for a couple of weeks.
Maybe we should hold off until we get a, you know, a sample back, so you know exactly, or kind of have an idea of how bad it's gonna be in certain areas, or whatever.
okay, so
Up to the end of May,
end of May sometime?
that should be stuff in May, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 weeks.
30th,
Huh?
30th, Tuesday.
What day is that?
Tuesday.
Day after Memorial.
Is that it?
It's a Tuesday, you're
That
saying?
might be it. 31st would be the Wednesday.
Which day works for you? You're busy schedule, Tony.
Oh, yeah, I know, I'll have to check, consult with all my employees first.
Are you putting May 31st or not?
Yeah.
Whatever day you pick.
What time?
8 o'clock, morning. We could go at 6.
6 in the evening?
Oh.
I don't care.
Question on the hospital, do you guys want us to, mow that, or just let it grow up? That's another question, I don't know exactly what, all
I would think we have to keep it mowed down by the way.
around that parking lot there, is that ours, or is that the Marshfield, or?
I don't know, that's a good
There's
question.
quite a bit of grass right there.
You mean
They still got the lease.
the one on the
park.
north side of the road?
Right across from O'Reilly's there.
Right, the whole
Where?
lot. That whole lot where the Fine Arts building is.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you wanna hold all that.
Well, that's technically,
It's our
under lease,
property.
it's our property, but it's under lease.
But couldn't we have the forestry department or something to bigger more, what have we got for lawnmower to do it?
You know who's gonna big more, Underbelly's.
No. We approved the back lane. I don't know, what is Marshfield gonna maintain out there for the, like, they still got their clinic,
Mhm.
and they got the lease on another lot, so do they have to maintain them?
I don't know, I have to look at the lease.
I would say we'd have to maintain what we're supposed to, but not as religious as like the fair.
week or something.
Yeah, not as
Well,
religious as like everything else.
is there a lease agreement with that?
Yeah,
place
she's
on? Huh?
She'll have to look into, you have to, you would actually look into see how much Marshfield's gonna maintain, and then the rest of it, whatever they don't, we are kind of, we don't wanna let it grow up in weeds and then.
I think Marshall used to have Anderson do it, because he reached out to me and, a while back and asked about it, so I said, I can't tell you.
Would you have time to do it though?
We'll have to make time, I mean,
That's the problem. It's trapping it on the floor, is what you can actually
There's
handle.
a whole animal shelter,
Yep.
dog runs and everything now.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anybody else in the area that does lawn work or anything.
Don't come in always.
Right,
I would
so
say
then-
we find out how much we gotta maintain out there.
I'm guessing most, if not all, would be my guess right now.
It ain't gotta be like, as well taken care of as everything. Yeah.
Say, there's a lot to go over.
Mile high, yeah.
Usually one over two.
So the 31st at 8 AM?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
That was scheduled.
Yep.
Is it 8?
And that would be, just the board members, facility managers only.
Yeah, I'll get with Rich to get the agenda together.
Because we don't wanna.
So that's gonna be for the public board now? For the
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that? Okay, next, Minister's Corner update, jail construction update.
Okay, so we're in the very, very, very preliminary stages. The architect requested the Wold facility analysis, so I gave that to him earlier this week. And the construction manager requested all of the blueprints that we had. So he was able to scan most of those in, and then we will get the digital copies. That's where we're at. They're just looking through all of our documents right now.
So they should have a report for us next month.
Possibly, we'll see.
That was supposed to be a report every month. They put it on property.
I'm giving the report right now, and then at Emergency Services, they passed a resolution that will come to county board in May to create an ad hoc construction committee. So one member from Emergency Services, one member from this committee, one from finance, the board chair, and then an at-large member. An at-large member, because we need a little bit more flexibility with scheduling with these people because they have tight schedules. So, when you guys meet, that might not work for them, like it didn't work.
They probably don't work Fridays.
Well, who knows, but an ad hoc committee,
Yeah, that sounds better.
okay, alright, so that's the update on
Then we'll
that.
have to change their own for county board.
Yep, it's a
That's
new
on the
resolution.
agenda.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
Yeah.
There's a way past it.
Next, we have the Tech 84 annual service approval.
Okay, so the body scanner that's up in the jail, there's a warranty on that expires in mid-August. So this is a service agreement that basically extends that warranty. It's just a hair under $9,000 for the year. Yep, it covers all repair, labor. We get one preventative visit for the year. They review our software system and make sure our software is up to date. And also one radiation safety survey as required by ANSI regulations.
This is for the body scan?
Yes,
Is that the one on
up in the jail.
the dispatch thing?
Yeah, right off the elevator here, when you first walk into the jail.
That's that Tech 84?
Yep,
Which budget would it come out of?
jail budget,
How much is it?
$9,000.
That is just for 1 year and that could be subject to increase.
Mm-hmm. Just
much
my
was the
emergency
unit to
services.
start with?
How much did it cost you?
$150,000.
So, yeah, for that unit. Which is something, you wanna make a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the service.
Is there a second?
The body can,
Scan.
why scans?
I'll second it.
Out of the sheriff's budget.
Jail budget.
Yes. Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. Yes, next one we gotta go back to is IT, ARPA fund bid.
It's in the Z drive,
Yeah, yeah.
We done, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
we only got this one to,
are we doing the courthouse cameras first, is that what you wanna do?
Yeah, we can do that one first, I mean, that's access security.
Down here, like 8 or 10, $30, how much was it?
It was 110 of them, or?
The final quote for access security is $91,519, no,
It's 100.
$111,639, so it's. If we can't provide server, then decreases listing by 20,000, that's why it's reading that way. So that's,
So what is the price?
111,000.
$1,639.
We did get other bids, but that's probably just what's on the Z drive from what we met in the office, right?
Well, I know he's gonna have the other bids, does he have any other ones on there?
I didn't have the Z drive there.
What company was this?
Access security.
Access.
Well, here's one, and I think I got it here,
Got it there?
HBS,
That's Heartland, Heartland Business.
camera system. Trying to get to them, sorry. $193,636.47. 636.47. And
I forget the name of the company, but it was,
Marco,
yeah, a red card, yeah, a red.
final
It's called what? What's the
Marco,
name?
Marco, M-A-R-C-O. That final quote is. $212,611.08.
And then there's one more for sure that I know of that was right around the ballpark of access security, but, we had a meeting as a IT department and, thought access security would be the best route just because we've dealt with them more in the cameras and everything. It's a better fit for what we need.
They're more familiar here than that.
So these are for the cameras,
Correct.
security cameras?
Is there a motion to approve access?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Over here? Oh, yeah.
Second. Any more discussion on it? Access.
Access for $111,639.
Quite a range.
That is everything.
Any more just,
I think it's like 78 or 80 cameras.
That's installed, there's no other charges that are gonna come 2 months later, 'cause
by county board, it's been approved by, I think, property, finance, everything already.
As long as this is a complete condition project.
Any more discussion on it?
Well, that's my discussion.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Take care of that.
We have other projects.
One more?
This is the servers, correct?
Well, there should be like four quotes, I think, for that whole package we picked. We picked Heartland Business.
Right,
Mhm.
there's, there he is. So it's,
Bugs, we just went through the security cameras with access security, but we're on, the servers and everything. Could you help me out on that with, I think we picked Heartland Business, correct?
Yeah.
What was the other company that we were?
Data Smart.
Data Smart. And their quotes were pretty similar, if I remember from our meeting, correct?
Yeah.
It was just, I'll let you can talk.
They were within, a couple hundred, of each other, but they were two different solutions as far as what they were looking to do. We thought Heartland was a better solution, and so it's kind of the one we picked. Yeah, it's tough questions there off the bat. I don't have it in front of me.
There was, what, there four different quotes for it?
Yeah, they should be on the Z drive.
yep, I have one.
Yeah, I put,
Do you want, here? I'll give you back the secret.
okay.
I'll write you some paper here.
And isn't it correct that, so the company where these guys all purchase their stuff, they get preferred pricing, so the first contractor that reaches out gets the preferred pricing? So you actually had to wait like 6 months, so both of them could get preferred pricing?
Yeah, cause when it originally started, when one company reaches out, they get that preferred pricing and they get it for 6 months. So for us to make it apples to apples or fair, we had to wait a little bit. You just wanna know the whole total?
We need to price them all.
Okay. Alright, so they're broke down into 4 different ones. First one we could just call servers and storage. Second one I would call disaster recovery. Third one would be firewall refresh. And fourth one is the switches. So if we go.
You say switching?
Switches, yep.
Switches.
Yep. Alright.
Firewall.
Yep. I'll go through them again too, guys, that's okay. So number one would be the servers. Down to the meat and potatoes. A lot of the.
Couldn't find potatoes.
They got a lot of green beans around it. Lots and lots of green beans around it. Alright, so the actual servers themselves are 31,000.
For who is this, HBS or Data Smart?
This is HBS.
Okay.
The actual servers themselves are 31,726 cents. In that same one, or that same quote, is what's called a power store. That's actually our SAN unit, or our all of our hard drives, where all of our data is. But Dell's version is just called a power store. That's 58,768.24.
That's the second part of it?
Disaster.
We're still part of it?
No, No, this is the first one.
Part of the first, yeah.
I'm just breaking it down for you. You guys just
We
want the
don't-
total, you don't care about the rest?
Just the total, that's all we need is the total.
Okay,
For
102.
HPS, yep.
Okay, so just the total for servers for HPS. 102, 483, 50.
The next company.
I'll finish up the ABS one. HPS. No, their quotes are quite long.
I know Bugs is working with both of them to get a detailed proposal, so it's been back and forth, back and forth.
Okay, for HBS, quote number 2, which is considered the disaster recovery, that one is at 94, 346, 94. Quote number 3 from HBS or Heartland. This one would be the firewall refresh. Total on that is 59, 840, 61. Last one for HBS would be the switches. That one comes to 69, 954, and 0 cents. Can I close these other quotes we have open now? No, no. Well, those guys are. No, it's 347 and some odd dollars, right? 0. Yeah, we worked on the server, we try to add these stuff in for you guys.
We just need to.
Okay, if we go on to Data Smart Solution. They've got it broken down into several ones as well. First one would be server and switches.
Can you just give us a grand total?
Sure. That's what you want.
He's gonna have to, they get separate quotes, so he's gonna have to.
Oh,
look at every.
Look at them and add them up.
Good, better not. Just say before, that was, 115, 224. Oh, do you want them to?
Well, I'm, yeah, listening, so then I can.
Okay, I'll read them out loud then.
Then I'll add them for you as well,
Okay.
or unless Gary's doing it.
I can do it.
Okay. Double check.
There you go.
Yeah, that never hurts. Storage is at 142, 577, 75.
categories that you were given
Oh,
for the
yeah,
other one.
it's, yeah, because they went different solutions. And so, that last number that I just gave, that 27,216, that's actually for something they didn't have on the quote. They had the numbers on how to do it, but they didn't include it in the quote, so their quote out of the box was 86,492. And then what it is to back up the email and OneDrive, SharePoint, everything like that, it's $3.15 per user per month. They didn't include that. And so if you take that, and everything else they were doing, was 3 year. So 3 years using their cost was that 20-some thousand that I just gave you.
371, right, yeah. Really makes sense.
The other one's 326, 625, 105.
Is there a motion to go with the Heartland?
It's got more.
We got more votes?
No.
Not for this one, no. I mean, I can come up with more, more stuff, I
So
mean.
one's at 326, 625, 105, and one in data smart
371.
is at 5, yeah.
So is there a motion to go with Heartland? Or it's HPS then?
Yeah.
So move.
Is there
Yeah,
a second?
so it's just Heartland Business Solutions.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
Any more discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, now we should have, is there a motion to adjourn? Yes. Tony, is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. We're adjourned.